friends, it's Miss Brienne from the Pickerington Public Library, here to show you our latest grab and go STEAM activity that you can do at home. It's for our school age friends, and this one is called a squeakin' squawkin' chicken. So this is our chicken we'll be making today. What's cool about this project is that it's kind of a craft, but you can also learn about science as well. We're going to learn about how sound works. So let's talk first about how sound does work, and then we'll get to making our funky chicken. Alrighty. So sounds are simply made of vibrations. So sounds are made when objects vibrate, when they move. So vibrations can travel through solids, liquid, gases, whatever is nearby. So when the object vibrates, it makes the air around it vibrate too. And those vibrations are going to be entering your ears through the air, and that's what you hear as sounds. So that's how sounds get into your ears. It's just vibrations. So even if you can't see a vibration, if you hear a sound, there are vibrations somewhere. Something is moving. So I always thought that was pretty cool how that's all sound is. It's just things that are moving. What's going to be important with our project today too is going to be friction. So in this case, we're going to be sliding our fingers across the string. We'll create friction. Now you've probably been cold in the winter time and you rub your hands together like this to make them warm. That's friction. That's when you're making friction. When you rub them back and forth together, kind of heats up. Makes a sound too. So when the friction makes the string vibrate, it's going to vibrate up inside our cup. And our cup is going to act like a loudspeaker. Hello, hello, hello. That's going to amplify the sound. It's going to make it louder, like a speaker. Now, when it's dry, the string isn't going to make very much noise, and I'll show you that when we get to that part. But we are going to actually have to make it wet to make the sound a little bit louder, a little bit clearer. So we will be using just a tad bit of water to make that sound a little bit louder. So in your squeakin' squawkin' chicken kit, you'll get some wiggly eyes, some tissue paper, sponge, plastic cup, some red and orange felt, and some string. And from your house, you'll need glue, scissors, and a push pin or a pen. So this is pretty easy. For your first step, turn your cup upside down. You see that this cup is in the upside down position. Turn it upside down and either use a push pin or a pen to poke a hole directly in the top of the cup. And the way this cup is made, it's pretty easy to tell where the middle is. So you'll be able to poke your hole right on through. So poke a hole in the top of the cup. Well, I say top, but technically it's the bottom, huh? In the bottom of the cup, you'll poke your hole. Next, you're gonna wanna take your string and tie a knot on one end. So you see that there in the left picture. Then take the long piece of the string and push it down through the cup like you see in the second picture. And then you'll pull it through like you see in the third picture. So your knot will be resting on the bottom of the cup. So you'll have that knot right there at that yellow part on the bottom of the cup, and then pull your string all the way through. The next step will be to take your tissue paper, tear it into about 1-inch pieces. They don't have to be perfect. Tear it into little bits, crinkle them up a little bit so they'll have a little more texture, look more like feathers. Then you'll put glue all over your cup, and then you will just start placing the tissue paper all over. We thought it looked best if you did the tissue paper at the bottom and then slowly went up. That way it looks like it's kind of covering the whole thing. So you want to go all the way around your cup with your tissue paper. Cover it up, look like chicken feathers. Next, you're going to take your small red piece of felt, and you're going to put 2 or 3 little snips with your scissors there. And this is for the comb on the chicken. If you didn't know that, that thing on top, that crest on top of the chicken's head, that's the comb. You're going to kind of roll it into a tube, and I glued my tube shut so it would just stay a little bit better, make it a little stronger. I glued the tube shape, kind of spread out the feathers on top, and then you're going to glue it on the bottom of the cup. I kind of tried to stay away from where the string was. I just didn't want that to impact the sound that it's going to make. I don't think it really would, but I kind of stayed away from the string when I glued that comb on top of the chicken's head. And then lastly, you'll glue on your 2 wiggly eyes and your little triangle beak. And there you have your squeakin' squawkin' chicken. Here he is. And here's his string hanging out. My string's very long. So the string should be hanging out through the center of the cup. And there he is. He's done. All right, the last step is going to be to make your chicken squawk. I'm gonna make him make some noise. So we're gonna take your sponge, we're gonna tie the string around it, and we're gonna rub it down the side of the string. I wanted to show you first though what happens if, well first if you want to make some sounds, you can kind of hear a little bit of sound when you just pull. A little bit of sound, not too loud. And then if you take a dry sponge, I'm not going to tie this one on yet, but if you took a dry sponge and rubbed it down the string, very loud. That doesn't sound like a squeaking, squawking chicken. Remember we said to get better friction, we're going to need to wet our sponge. So let me tie my sponge to the string. So just a little knot will do. There, just tied them on there. No big deal. Got a little cup of water here. The sponge in there, wring out all the extra water. We don't need the extra water, we just need the sponge to be damp. And then take your wet sponge, and I've kind of folded in half around the string, and let's see what happens. Ready? That sounded like an angry chicken. Let's try if we kind of do like a bumpy line. Let's try that, see how that sounds. There's that sound traveling up into the cup from the vibrations of the string and the water and the air. Our cup is acting like a speaker, making that sound even louder. And so it kind of amplifies the sound when we make our chicken squawk. All right, so that's it. That's our squeak and squawk and chicken. I hope you enjoy making this activity at your house, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.